You come a bit closer.
Cool.
Oh, we're live.
We're live.
Just caught me having a go at my bloody husband.
I think you're in that.
It's a bit rude. Hi, everybody. Oh, God.
Oh, everybody.
I've got a bag of pills. I'm not doing well.
Yeah.
I've got a crackle on my lung. It's terrifying. I think it's just a chest. Oh, there we go. Is that better? I pressed a button and it's green now. So I've got a crackle on my lung.
So if you hear something, it's not feedback.
It's not feedback.
Well, it might be feedback.
It's feedback.
Maybe it's feedback from the crackle on your young. On the young.
Crackle on my young.
That takes us into the next hour.
So basically, she scared me to death by saying you got a crackle on your lung, and I think that just means I've got a chest infection. I think that's just old school, just chest infection. Mark's got a bit of it, but he's too much of a man to go to the doctors. No. Anyway. Oh, here you go, Shredder.
Hey. And green tea as well.
Hi, everyone. So, yeah.
Oh, can people hear us?
Oh, yeah, can you hear us? We always forget to ask that until about 25 minutes in. Better, but quiet. Oh, God. What about now? I don't know what I just did then. Johnny! Right, is this okay? Johnny. Mark might need to get a bit closer. Is this okay, or is it... I mean, it's not an expensive setup we've got going on here, to be honest.
Better. Green tea says better.
Right, well, we just shout. I might struggle with that with me crackle on my lung. And I might do that a lot. But, yeah, we couldn't come in last week. Oh, blimey. I've spent the last 2 weeks just sleeping on the sofa, haven't I? Yeah. It's not been a very good couple of weeks, to be honest. Do you know what? I got it the day I went outside, because I don't usually go outside when I see chemtrails, but I had an emergency wool run. So I went all the way to Chippenham. And it was a day when I saw 10 of those stupid idiot things and a helicopter. And I haven't been the same since. Nope. Probably just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Right. So let's make a start, Mark.
Yeah.
I might have to keep having lots of drink and little pauses because this is the most talking, this is the most anything I've done for 2 weeks, to be honest. So here's to us. Yeah, they have, Ben. Yeah. They have. Right. So here's the news. It's not really the news. It's just welcome to the Year of the Dragon.
Sorry. And Woody Black.
I'm doing my thing.
Sorry.
Oh my God! I'm doing my bloody picture.
All right, carry on. I just
Mariana Spring don't have bloody interruptions from.
Well, maybe she should have more.
What's his name? Unbelievable. Can I do my thing now?
Yeah, get on with it.
Bloody hell. I'm having the bloody mic over here. Stop him bloody getting involved. I need another drink now.
Oh, Linda's in.
Right. Hi, Linda. Right. No more saying hello until I finish my thing.
Right.
Welcome to the Year of the Dragon. Don't you mean welcome to the Year of the Wood Dragon? Yes, I do mean that. So, I've copied out a lot of stuff from the internet about this, but also I got a very a philosophical bit I did myself a bit later on in the news. Yeah. That's more than you get from the bloody BBC. So I'll read out the bits about from the internet first, and then there's my bit. It's a bit encouraging for you, I think. In the Chinese zodiac, dragons are notorious for their strong leadership qualities and determination to succeed, which will inspire us to chase our dreams. While dragons can be quick-tempered, they prefer to be straightforward and surround themselves with individuals who challenge their beliefs, leading to personal growth and fresh starts in relationships. The wood element will play a significant role in this year, as it encourages us to put forth effort to make positive changes to grow as tall as the trees in the forest. Additionally, 2024 is also known as the Year of the Green Dragon, symbolizing expansion and strength that will motivate us to reach new heights and attain personal power. The wood dragon is the most creative and visionary of the dragons. They are optimistic, ambitious, and adventurous. They like to explore new ideas and challenge themselves. They are also generous, compassionate, and loyal to their friends. Therefore, the year of the dragon in 2024 is expected to be a time of visionary leaders, innovators, and problem solvers. Dot, 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 dot. Right, that's my bit now. This next bit is what I wrote. It's quite motivational. So the last bit was 2024 is expected to be a time of visionary leaders, innovators, and problem solvers. So it's me now. Well, said Liz.
Seems.
Yeah. I think that's us. Not just us.
Not just us.
You, us, collective. The dragon's power and the wood's creativity seems to me to be the perfect combination for us to tap into to make the changes that need to be made in this world. We've proved we're strong and we've proved we're creative. We got this far without bending the knee, quite literally sometimes. So I say, let's harness the dragon and allow it to let our creativity soar this year. That might mean making your own YouTube channel. It might mean letting that obscure, niggly seed of an idea actually take shape. This year is going to be challenging, so let's stop waiting for someone else's bright idea to save us. Let's take advantage of the dragon's auspicious energy and let our own ideas and projects take flight and make the collective voice of the truth even louder. I came up with that. That was a Lizism.
That's good.
I think that's good. And then at the very end, this is another bit I got from the internet. According to the Chinese horoscope, 2024 is a year full of potential and opportunities for personal growth, professional success, and I thought the very most important bit about this is and make a social impact. Isn't that all what we're just trying to do? I mean, me and Mark are having a great time doing this, but what we want to do is kind of have a bit of fun whilst talking about the truth, whilst breaking it to you gently, like when we do Mark's bits, it's a little bit esoteric sometimes, it's a little bit woo, but it's introducing you to things some people might run a million miles from. And also when we do our quiz, I like to give a bit of information on that. So if we can I said turn your bloody phone off.
Did you say that?
So if we can bloody do it, me and this idiot here, you can as well. And so we call it the twinkly sky water. Carl Jung called it the collective unconscious. If we all put something in there, whether it's a YouTube channel or having a conversation with some woman up Tesco's, I don't know, the voice becomes louder. And if we're going to harness the energy of the dragon and also the creativity of the wood dragon, there's nothing stopping us this year, because I think it's going to be a challenging year. And guess what? Putin was born in the year of the dragon. That brings me on nicely to say, me and Mark are going to finish this at 9:00 because Ben has got a live stream at 9:00. So we want you to all go over to Ben's channel at 9:00. He's got a live stream on, what's his name? Cucker Tarlson and Padamir Vlutin. So go and see Ben after this one. Well, I thought it was pretty bloody good.
Yeah, bloody good, mind.
Bloody brain inspirations and everything in there.
Well, yes, it sounds like we need positivity because Ego Shredder was saying Richard E. Hall's been shafted in the courts.
Has he? I know he had his thing, and he was like, they're going to try and stop me give my evidence. So this was about whether he was allowed to give his evidence or not. So if they said he's not allowed to give his evidence, then so what he says won't ever be heard, because that's what this latest appearance thing was about.
Yeah. That's trouble. Yeah.
Oh God.
Well,
bastards!
You knew they wouldn't give him a fair hearing.
That's why we need to be the loud voice then. If me and Mark can do this, I mean, by the end of the week, we've had at least 70 people look at this live stream. That's almost a room full in a conference, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We might have like 11 here now. Thank you. Love you. Thanks for being here. By the end of the week, about 70 people have watched this. That's not bad. If me and him can do it, so can you. And let's make the voice louder so that people like Richard isn't shafted. Yeah, he might be shafted in the courts, but we've got his back and we're his voice. Yeah. Right, that's enough of that. Shall we start? The quiz. Yeah. That's going to be the new the theme tune. Yeah. The theme. Right. Mark Froud is a bit rubbish at getting your answers.
Hang on, I ain't been rubbish for recently.
No, you have been. It's because
No.
we haven't done one recently. No, he's really good at getting your answers. Let's get on with the quiz.
Yeah, buddy, get on with it.
Right, fingers on buzzers, please. Right, don't say A, B, or C, or D, or 1, 2, 3. Just try and, as quick as you can, put as much of the answer in words because we get confused. Well, I mean, we get confused with the words,
Just a little abbreviation.
apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get on with it. Now, Ben has won twice, so you all need to get in there and try and beat Ben because we're running out of prizes that he had already got. Right, might have to have a cough sweet in a minute. Okay, are we ready? Number 1, and I've got loads of answers, loads of interesting information on all of these questions. So it's not just about just answering it. You learn a thing or two. I put bloody hours into doing this quiz, don't I, Mark?
Yeah.
Excuse me, can't help that. I got a crackle on my lung. Right, now this one might be a bit controversial because we have got an expert on UFOs in the audience. So bear with me, Ben. This is just the answer I've got from the internet. You might not agree with it. Okay, so according to the internet, not necessarily our resident expert on UFOs in the chat box. When was the earliest known UFO sighting? 1200 BC, 100 BC, 1086, 1941. Oh. And we get music. And when the music stops, we want your answer.
Well, you can have it before that.
Oh yeah, you can have it before that.
Because you've got to get in first, that's the idea, isn't it?
But you've got to have it in by the end of this. And it goes on a bit. You've got ages. 1200 BC, 100 BC, 1086, 1941. God, that went on a bit. Has everybody got their thing in?
Ego Shredder said, does the mud pie thrown over a hill in 976 count?
Was that you? Probably. Right. Okie dokie. So the answer is, according to this, sorry Ben if it's not right, 100 BC. Has anybody written that down?
100 BC.
No. Are you sure? I don't believe you half the time.
1200 BC was Cosmic, Linda, Ben.
Are you sure? Scroll up because I don't trust you. Nobody. If anybody's put 100, say yeah, I did, but Mark's being thick again. Oh, so nobody. What did Ben put?
1200 BC.
Right.
Thought Moses the third, Pharaoh of Egypt.
So I knew Ben would have more information than us. So let me read out what they've got on the bit of information I've got, Ben and everybody. The earliest known report of a UFO sighting was by Julius Obsequens, a Roman writer, in 100 BC. He claimed to have seen things like ships in the sky over Italy. Some people also believe that the Old Testament book of Ezekiel contains a reference to a UFO sighting. The book of Ezekiel chronicles the period from about 593 BC to about 573 BC. So if this is actually a UFO reference, it would predate the sightings by Obsequens. I can't say that. How would you say that?
He looks like Obsequens.
I do. Sequins. I looked. This is from Ezekiel. I looked and I saw a windstorm coming out of the north, an immense cloud with flashing lightning and surrounded by brilliant light. The center of the fire looked like glowing metal, and in the fire was what looked like 4 living creatures.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was in Ezekiel. Anyway, sorry if you didn't agree with that one, Ben. I apologise.
Romans called them flying shields.
Wow. Okay, so nobody for that one? Nobody for that one? No worries.
No.
In the poem Beowulf, the monster Grendel is said to be a descendant of which infamous person? Genghis Khan, Brutus, Vlad the Impaler, or Cain? In the poem Beowulf, the monster Grendel is said to be a descendant of which infamous person? Genghis Khan, Brutus, Vlad the Impaler, Cain. Oh. Oh. Right. Anybody got Cain? Has anybody got Cain?
Yeah, DJ Beato
Woo!
was the first.
Well done, DJ.
Uh,
Now, we need our people with spanners in the audience to check mark, but so I think that's just you and it, Ben, at the moment. Just check marks right because
Mari's
is Mari in there?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Mari.
Yeah, I said hello and you told me off.
So can my spanners check marks right? Kane. So Mark saying DJ said Kane got it first. Yeah. Is that right, spanners? Well done, DJ.
Yeah.
So that learning now, the learning. The 8th century epic Beowulf refers to the biblical Cain as having sired many varied monstrous creatures, like her next door. Grendel being of that bloodline. Some experts theorize that the title character slaying the monster symbolizes Anglo-Saxon England's emerging Christianity. That's a bit of learning, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's not just nonsense.
The
you get
English
here.
Story, as Ben says.
You get your bloody money's worth here, don't you?
I remember.
Yeah, I'll speak to the...
I remember a good track by Marillion called Grendel.
What
is it? Yeah.
That was my first introduction to it.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah. It's about
Brilliant. Brilliant. Right. Question number 3. Mike over here.
Oh yeah, Ego Shredder's on my page with Marillion.
Yeah. Oh, he's on your page. Who said? Now, there's quite a few things here that this person said. There's 3 things. Who said? If anything could be done to segregate the 130,000 feeble-minded people so that their curse dies with them, future generations would be grateful. And I do not understand the squeamishness about the use of gas. I am strongly in favour of using poisonous gas against uncivilized tribes. And I do not admit that a great wrong has been done to the Red Indians of America or the black people of Australia by the fact that a stronger race, a higher grade race, has come in and taken its place. Who said that? Adolf Hitler, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Joseph Stalin, Winston Churchill. I can't bother to read all that again. It's nasty things. Was it Hitler, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Joseph Stalin, Winston Churchill? Oh. Goes on a bit, this one. Brilliant. Anybody get that right? That's the answer there.
I thought
the answer is Winston Churchill.
Yeah, quite a few people got it right.
What a nice man.
The first one was Mari.
Oh, well done, Mari.
Yeah, what a hero, eh? Well, Mari and Winston.
What a charming man, as they say. What a charming man. Right, number 4. In Aldous Huxley's book, Brave New World, Mustafa Mond says that you can't have a lasting civilization without plenty of vices, soma, prenatal conditioning, or stability and happiness. In Brave New World, Mustafa Mon says, you can't have a lasting civilization without plenty of pleasant vices, soma, prenatal conditioning, stability and happiness. Oh. Oh, it doesn't want me to give you any more time. So we'll just see. Is everybody who's having a go had a go, Mark?
Well, we've had a few goes, yeah. So what's the answer?
So the answer is plenty of pleasant vices. You can't have a lasting civilization without plenty of pleasant vices. Who was the first one for that
Mari
one?
was first.
Oh.
Just beat Ego Shredder.
Sorry, can't help this. Can't help it. It's a crackle on the lung. I like saying that because it makes it sound worse than what it is. I get more sympathy. It's a chest infection.
As Ego says, plenty of vices to do your DIY.
I got that as I took a drink and I nearly spat it all over the bloody place. Right, was that Mari?
Yeah.
Well done, Mari.
Yeah. Only just
thank you for our presents. We got some nice presents.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Mari.
Really lovely. Thank you. Number 5. Which of the following films isn't based on a Philip K. Dick short story or novel? Isn't based on a Philip K. Dick short story or novel. Gattaca, Total Recall, Screamers, Blade Runner. Gattaca, Total Recall, Screamers, Blade Runner. Some of them go on a bit, Mark. Right, is everybody that's having a go had a go?
Yeah, we've had a few goes.
So the answer is Gattaca.
That will be DJ again. Well done,
Well
DJ.
done. Now I've got an awful lot. Oh,
Woody
Christ.
Black just beaten there. Just beaten.
Oh, so a few people got that right.
Yeah, yeah.
So Total Recall, Screamers and Blade Runner were all based on short stories or novels by Philip K. Dick. Gattaca wasn't. I can't be bothered to read all that out. That's just too much nonsense. Right. Number, don't know because you didn't give me a margin. 6.
No, I haven't seen Screamers either, Ben. Never even heard of it.
Oh, Ben, I'm going to blame you for last night.
It makes a change for me not to be blamed.
Tell Ben why I'm going to blame him for last night.
I can't remember now.
We watched a film called Sleuth, Ben,
Oh, yeah.
because Mark said, "Oh, Ben likes that film."
Well,
I hadn't seen it for a long. I'd never seen it.
No, it wasn't just because Ben said it, but I thought your recommendation, Ben, might swing it to get Liz to watch it.
Oh, the recommendation swung it.
But you didn't like it.
It's homoerotic and nonsense.
Well, only if that's where your mind lies.
He said, Laurence Olivier said to, what's his name? Michael Caine, "Oh, take your trousers off. Oh, and your shirt." And then he went like this. I've never seen anything so gay in my life.
Yeah, well, you know, there was that bit.
But what a weird film, Ben.
It's good though. It's good. I'm glad I've finally seen it after all these decades. But yeah, and I was struck by the fact that Morrissey used a line out there for This Charming Man, which is also apparently, I didn't realise, I read as a song about 2 gay men.
I told you.
So yeah,
he went like this. He
yeah.
said, he went like this. Laurence Olivier went.
So it was a jumped up pantry boy who never knew his place.
That's not what he was. Anyway,
Anyway,
I'm blaming Ben for that one. That's got nothing to do with question 6. So don't watch Sleuth. It's just weird. The so-called prime directive for adult men and women in Greek and Roman antiquity was to own a business, own at least one slave, learn to read, have a family with children, or buy property. The so-called prime directive for adult men and women in Greek and Roman antiquity was to own a business, own at least one slave, learn to read, have a family with children, or buy property. Oh God, don't get me started. Right, have we got anybody that said have a family with children?
Yeah, Mari got family just ahead of DJ.
Wow, you guys are doing well. So, a bit of learning. In Greek and Roman antiquity, the prime directive for adult men and women was to have a family with children. This was considered a societal expectation and a way to ensure the continuation of the family line. It was seen as a duty and responsibility for individuals to marry and have children, as it was believed to contribute to the stability and prosperity of society. Having a family with children was valued and prioritised over the other options such as owning a business, owning slaves, learning to read, or buying a property. Oh, how times have changed.
Woody's liking our tunes, banging tunes we got here.
They're quite banging.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ben's a bit off the pace.
going
Maybe
on,
he's
Ben?
thinking of his own live stream, maybe.
no, he feels guilt and remorse about ruining my evening, my Saturday evening. Right. Hold on. I'm going through this bloody Ribena of mine. I haven't done so much talking for 2 weeks. Number 7. What is the hardest colour to see? Red, yellow, blue, green. Red, yellow, blue, green. The hardest colour to see. Don't know why I keep doing that. Has anybody put red there, Mark?
Mari.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there was a couple of blues, yellow, well, a few blues actually. Cosmic Ego, Linda said red, but Mari was first.
Mari's
with red.
first.
Johnny said green.
In general, red is often considered the hardest colour for the human eye to perceive because it has the longest wavelength and is located at one end of the visible spectrum. This means that in low light conditions, red can be difficult to distinguish compared to other colours. It's like bloody being at school where you actually want to learn the shit, isn't it? It's like being at a good school, isn't it? I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Right. 8. I made this question up. Is the idea proud of myself? Is the idea of a gaydar real or a manipulated psyop to label someone homophobic? Is the idea of gaydar real or a manipulated psyop to label someone homophobic?
Well, see, Sleuth was a good lead into that question. If you excuse the expression. If you pardon the
You
pun.
pardon the pun. Put a bit of effort into it. Put a bit of effort into your dancing. Effort. You're just reading the chat.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, isn't it?
Yes. And dance. So,
Right.
it's real.
Oh.
Who put that? Who put real?
Well, lots of people. Woody was first.
Was he?
Yeah.
Well done, Woody. So,
Whoever's got it.
the idea of gaydar, the ability to tell whether someone or not is gay, might seem silly nowadays, but back in 1961, it was real. At the height of the Cold War, the Canadian government hired Frank Robert Way to create a scientific test that would determine if someone was gay. The reason for this was to identify communist sympathisers and get them out of the government. I want to know what the test involved. Whether watching that fucking film, probably. Did you enjoy Sleuth? Show me your trousers. Oh. Anyway.
DJ says that explains Justin Castro. Good point. Yeah.
Oh.
Ben says he's got a poor dar. Can spot a hospital porter from 50 paces.
That's an interesting. Let's ask. Let's throw it out to the audience. What dar have you got? I've got a cunt dar. I can tell if you're a cunt from 50 paces. What have you got, Mark?
I'm not sure. Have I got anything? No, I haven't got anything.
Sorry, everybody. Oh, the Cosmic Twilight, who I nearly dox every week, is in. Hi. So what dar have
Mari's
you got?
A wank dar. Is that similar to
a wank sock? How did we
where
get so
did
rude?
that come from?
Wait, was that bloody rude person? He's a gay rude person that does telly.
What?
Gay rude person that does telly. What's his name?
Graham Norton.
Yes.
Why is gay? I don't know about infiltrating the government. It's infiltrating our live stream.
I think it's all these fucking medication I'm on. I think it's causing me to go a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Green tea's got a narcissist dar.
Oh shit, we're fucked.
Actually, we all sound Welsh, saying, all right, dar.
Oh yeah. Ben should have a Welsh dar as
It's
well.
mostly about the Welsh and gays.
Mark,
so
you should have beard dar, but everybody's got one of those. It's called eyes. Oh God, what's going on?
Move on, Liz.
They're moving on. Move on or move out.
No,
right. Number 9.
Toss the dart. Well, we're throwing it out here, as it were.
Christ. Right. Was Project Sunshine to do with weather manipulation, food modification, infiltrating the youth culture with mind-altering drugs, or experiment regarding the atomic bomb? Project Sunshine, weather manipulation, food modification, infiltrating the youth culture with mind-altering drugs, or an experiment regarding the atomic bomb. Project Sunshine sounds delightful, doesn't it? Okay. Is everybody who's having a go had a go?
We've got a few goes in it.
Right.
What's the answer then?
The answer is an experiment regarding the atomic bomb.
Oh, Linda was first in with bomb.
Well done, Linda.
Yeah, just beat DJ nuking the atmosphere.
Well done. So
bomb took less to right.
Project Sunshine doesn't sound so sunny when you find out what it's about. In the 1950s, the US government, who else, secretly collected human tissue, primarily from cadavers. Primarily? Without permission from next of kin. The purpose was to monitor the effects of radioactive fallout from nuclear weapons tests. More than 1,500 samples, many of them babies, were gathered around the world. Dr. Willard Libby, a researcher and a commission member, is quoted as saying, "I don't know how to get them human samples, but I do say that it is a matter of prime importance to get them, and particularly in the young age group. So, human samples are of prime importance, and if anybody knows how to do a good job of body snatching, they will really be serving their country."
What was this for the
This was for the
Second World War?
No, this was for the buffet of the Bilderberg group. for the banquet.
Well, it does show you though. It does feed in a little bit with my talk later, in a way.
He's got to talk later.
In a way, in a little way.
Sickos.
Sickos.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Okay. This one's got a lot of learning. This one. Bit depressing, this one, I'm afraid. Sorry. What study was... But trouble is, we don't just do news, we do the truth. This is the truth, isn't it? Learning. It's a bit depressing, this one. What study was conducted between 1932 and 1972 by the United States Public Health Service and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Tuskegee, Alabama, resulting in over 100 deaths, which could have been avoided? There's no... You either know this one or you don't. Right, so the answer is the Tuskegee syphilis study. So, what have we got here?
You said Tuskegee in the questions. It's syphilis, really, we want, isn't it? The answer.
I don't want it.
No. Well, don't rank into a sock then.
I think you're probably safer if
Yeah,
you...
probably safe. Right. So, Johnny was first with syphilis. If you excuse the expression.
If you pardon the pun.
If you pardon the pun.
It's
That's
been
one.
very past the watershed tonight, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is. Ben said disease infection, but Johnny was first with syphilis, just beating DJ. So I think we've got to give it to Johnny.
We're
Not
going
syphilis.
to give syphilis to Johnny.
Well
done, Johnny. Well done, everybody.
Not part of the experiment.
Well done, everybody. But it was the Tuskegee syphilis study, and it's fucking dark. So it is one of the most infamous clinical studies in American history, conducted between 1932 and 1972. It observed the natural progression of syphilis in black men in rural Alabama. Unfortunately, this was not known to those involved in the study. They thought they were receiving free health care from the government. Ring any bells? Investigators enrolled in the study a total of 600 impoverished African American sharecroppers. Of these men, 399 had latent syphilis, with a control group of 201 men who were not infected. As an incentive for participation in the study, the men were promised free medical care, but were deceived by the PHS, who never informed subjects of their diagnosis, despite the risk of infecting others and the fact that the disease could lead to blindness, deafness, mental illness, heart disease, bone deterioration, the collapse of the central nervous system, and death. Instead, the men were told that they were being treated for bad blood, a colloquialism that described various conditions such as syphilis, anemia, and fatigue. The collection of illnesses the term included was a leading cause of death within the Southern African American community. So they knew they had it, didn't tell them they had it, didn't treat them for it, just wanted to see what would happen. If they did, let's just watch them to see how long it takes for them to die. So Public Health Service, well done.
Ben said it was safe and effective syphilis.
Yeah, exactly. Trust the science.
Yeah.
So nothing's changed.
You know, it's a bit like Porton down the road from here, which I think we mentioned it the other day, but it's like famous for being biological warfare place for decades in Britain, and now it's part of Public Health England.
Yay!
And they're making a new vaccine for disease X, which they don't even know what it is yet. So how can you make a vaccine for something you don't even know exists?
Yeah, but why make it in a place where they do biological weapons?
Exactly.
Oh, conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Right, number 11. I never said this was going to be jolly, this quiz, did I?
Green tea. I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Yeah.
Those famous words. Yeah.
What? Number 11, Mark.
Yeah.
What did the US government say? Oh, here's one for Ben. What did the US government say the Roswell crash incident was part of? Project Blue Beam, Project Paperclip, Project Mogul, Project Mockingbird. If you don't get this one, Ben, I'm bloody ashamed.
So it was not having a weird.
Was Roswell part of Project Blue Beam, Project Paperclip, Project Mogul, Project Mockingbird? Right, Project Mogul.
Well, Ben did get it, but not before DJ. DJ beat him to it.
I thought Ben would have had the answer right before he asked the question.
Oh, no, he hesitated or lagged on the internet. One way or another, DJ got there first.
Well done, DJ. I'm so glad that I would have been disappointed.
DJ's learned his lesson. He typed the one word mogul.
He's learned his lesson.
Ben typed Project Mogul.
Oh, Ben.
That probably might have been that millisecond.
Ben hasn't learned his lesson.
Oh, dear.
We got a balloon in the chat box.
Oh, dear. Is it? Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's a good thing.
A nice balloon from Johnny.
So, I've got some learning.
All right, learning.
Project Mogul, come here, rubbish Mike. Project Mogul, sometimes referred to as Operation Mogul, was apparently a top secret project by the US Army Air Forces involving microphones flown on high altitude balloons. Oh, well, that's why Johnny's put a balloon in there. Whose primary purpose was long distance detection of sound waves generated by Soviet atomic bomb tests. The project was carried out from 1947 until early 1949. It has been said that crashed debris found near Roswell, New Mexico, was a smashed part of the program's balloons, sensors, and, of most consequence, to the growth of spaceship theories, radar reflectors made of thin metal foil. So this is me now, I think. Just do 3 minutes of your own research to realise that's a great big pile of shite. Yeah, that's definitely my words. Ellie Marzulli has a new film out on Roswell. He has recently done an interview about it. If you only listen to that interview, you already know the balloon nonsense is nonsense. Am I right?
Yeah, I believe that there's also someone's written a trilogy about...
Somebody somewhere's written a book about what would happen if they told us the truth rather than lies.
Yeah, if there had been disclosure at Roswell.
I can't remember who wrote it.
Who wrote it?
Roswell. I think we've got it on the bookshelf.
Maybe someone can help us in the chat.
I can't remember who wrote it.
That.
Yeah, no idea.
Who wrote a trilogy about Roswell?
Stephen Bassett, wasn't it?
Brian Cox, wasn't it?
Ooh.
Was it Ben? Was it? No.
Ben wrote the books. Ben wrote the books. We've got them on our bookshelf.
Yeah.
All three of them.
Yeah.
Bloody good books.
Yeah. We'll rush out and get it.
Right. Who got that?
Hey.
Who won it?
DJ beat Ben.
Ben. Jazz.
Nice.
12. Which disease was a biological weapon that originated in the Plum Island laboratory? Foot and mouth disease, ringworm, Lyme's disease, avian influenza. What originated in Plum Island lab? Foot and mouth disease, ringworm, Lyme's disease, avian flu. Oh Christ! I keep hitting rubbish Mike. Right, who was the first one to say Lyme's disease?
Ben. Ben got in first.
Well done,
this time.
Ben.
Yeah.
Well done, Ben. So Lyme's disease. About a mile off the tip of Long Island's North Fork, past a patch of rough sea and a long, sharp reef, there's a wild, sequestered place known as Plum Island. Some may have heard of it. It's been rumoured to be the origin point of Lyme disease and the Montauk Monster, and made a cameo in The Silence of the Lambs. Some call it the Area 51 of the East Coast. A 1971 New York Times article described the facility as a devil's island for the deadliest animal disease germs known to man. Now, I made a video about this recently. They're closing it down this December. They're closing Plum Island down. Don't forget, Plum Island in the middle of the ocean. You got to get a boat there, and then you got to climb it. Really difficult to get to, which is a good thing because you don't really want animal diseases escaping. Hopefully they can't swim, but they're closing that down. Hooray! Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute, everybody. They reopened it last December, so they've got a new version of it last December in the heart of a farming, agriculture, animal land, Kansas. So it'll be fine. So they're closing Plum Island down in the middle of the sea, biological, animal, terrifying disease laboratory. You know, they've got a bit of foot and mouth here, they've got a bit of Lyme's disease there, all in the test tube. And they're opening it up. They've opened it up last December in Kansas, next to the pigs. So I can't imagine what will go wrong now. Who makes these bloody decisions? Is it you? So I can't possibly. So Plum Island is going to be closed down this year, but it's okay because they've already opened up a new one in the middle of a farm. It'd be fine.
Wasn't Dorothy in Kansas before she ended up in Oz?
I don't know what he's going on about. Right. Okay. So
Ego Shredder said never visit Lyme Regis.
Oh, dear. Right. Who got that right then?
That was a Ben. Ben.
Well done,
first
Ben.
point of the evening.
Well done, Ben. Number 13. According to tinfoil hat nutters, I don't know any of them, Ben. I said I don't know any of them, Ben. I don't associate Ben with being a tinfoil hat nutter. Don't know any of those. What was found in a cave in the South Sandwich Islands and was the real reason for the Falklands War? According to tinfoil hat nutters, what was found in a cave? Oh God, I haven't given you the clues. Blue avians, black goo, grey aliens, purple rain. Christ, I fucked this one up. What was found in South Sandwich Islands and was the real reason for the Falklands War? Blue avians, black goo, grey aliens, purple rain. Black goo. I know whose accent that is. Black goo. Ben's got a video entitled Black Goo Trifle.
Oh yeah, it's delightful.
It's like health
Trifle.
food. It's basically just health food. Connor wants to make one of those, Ben. So, who got black goo? That's Miles Johnson.
Well, the first was DJ.
Hi, Gary. Gary's in.
Hello, Gary.
Black
Welcome.
goo. Who was the first one to say black goo?
DJ.
And that was before I even gave the
Just
answers.
Ben had too many oohs.
He did. He was being humorous because he's doing Miles Johnston.
Yeah, see,
black goo.
Your humour's cost you there again, Ben.
But we appreciate it.
They
We've
put
got
a price on
17
humour.
people in the chat at the same time. That is our highest number yet.
Well,
high five.
they're
Oh,
probably
somebody just
gonna
left. Cheeky bastards. That's hilarious. Right, so who just got black goo?
DJ.
Black goo.
Oh, Ego Shredder's put different themes of the quiz together. Black goo equals VD. So we're back to that.
Oh.
Anyway.
Right, so here's the learning. This one is woo, isn't it? Black woo. This one's very woo, this one. But we like a bit of woo, don't we? Makes life more interesting. I feel sorry for people that aren't interested in a bit of woo. How boring their life must be. Right, bits from the interweb about black goo. The black goo is said to be an alien life form of some kind and was the reason the Falklands War raged as it did in 1982. The sinking of the Belgrano, already an affair covered in suspicion, and the apparently imminent threat to British citizens of the island was part of the deeper cover-up and drew attention from the real reason the British military suddenly descended as it did upon the Falkland Isles. There is speculation in the alternative knowledge community that the black goo is actually real and is presently buried in Antarctica and or the Falkland Islands by an incredibly ancient alien race that visited Earth. Look up David Griffin, Harold Kautzfehler, I'm probably saying that wrong, aren't I, Ben, and Kerry Cassidy, and the Marconi scientist deaths in the 1980s. Very bizarre. It seems that the goo is a sentient oil and it has to be buried at great depth to keep it inactive. The Higher Side Chats podcast claims German researcher Harold Kautzfehler joins THC to break down his deep-level research into the true nature of the elite's campaigns against humanity. According to Harold's research, an invading version of what is known as black goo landed on our planet roughly 80,000 years ago. This black goo could be considered a type of alien AI or a seed device for creating life within a biosphere. I'm going to look up and there's going to be like 3 people left in the chat in there. This invader does not belong here and has been attempting to unpack its program to the detriment of our natural order. It contains remnants of its original life forms, spider-type beings, which have been coaxing the elite into carrying out their plans for earthbound manifestation for as long as we know. Our energies have been used as feed and our environment has been tweaked to make the people weak. The plan to get these higher dimensional archonic beings to hook into their human husks is getting closer all the time and is at the heart of the transhumanist agenda. It is also said to have connection with the phenomenon known as Morgellons. Bloody hell. So it is a very fringe black goo. It's fascinating. But then you got to say, well, why did they want the Falkland Islands? What was all that about? There's got to be something more to it than that. Anyway, who got that one right?
It was DJ.
It is interesting, whether you believe it or not. I don't care. That's life's interesting, isn't it? If you're not boring.
Yeah.
Right, number 14. What does TI stand for in our realm of existence? Potentially yours as well. Does it stand for thought interface, Thule initiate, targeted individual, Towers inquiry? TI, thought interface, Thule initiate, targeted individual, Towers inquiry. This is the longest one. Oh, Christ. Right, who got targeted individual first?
Everybody got
it first.
Everybody got it, but Ben was first.
Well done, Ben. Targeted individual. I've not listened to this, but it was quite good explanation of what TI's experience on Jesse Ventura's website. So I didn't listen to this, but it was like an explanation of what was on the podcast, and it was quite interesting. Could the so-called crazies in the tinfoil hats be onto something? Targeted individuals, or TIs, claim that the government is harassing, even torturing them by sending microwave signals into their brains and bodies to drive them to despair. It's not an isolated case, but thousands of people across the country experiencing the exact same symptoms, all of which began after speaking out against the powers that be. Jesse knows that they aren't nuts, but could it be too late to stop these voice of God weapons from turning the population into mindless zombies? They don't just do that. They don't just target them with microwave signals, which they do. And who did we used to listen to? I can't remember what her name was, but she used to cover a whole house with tin foil, and then she would video it as it was going like that. And you could actually see the marks in the tin foil where she was being targeted. But it's not just that, it's the black helicopters and it's like people following them. And it's, there's a lot of things that happen to targeted individuals. It's not just the microwave signals and the voice to God things, but yeah. Who got it right, Ben?
Yep. Ben was first. There were lots of right answers, but Ben got there first.
Yeah, it's I probably still follow her. I can't remember what her name is there. Right, number 15. What is the term for the fear of ghosts? I can't say any of this. Phantomphobia, phasmophobia, phantalmophobia, spectrophobia. Why did I do this? What is the term for the fear of ghosts? Phantomophobia, phasmophobia, phantalmophobia, spectrophobia. You think I'd do one that I could say, wouldn't you? Somebody in New Zealand's targeted individual. Right, so. Oh.
Apparently Donna Vigilante has one of her tunes.
Christ, that'll do. Right. The answer is phasmophobia. Did anybody get that one right?
Yeah, I think that was DJ first again.
Ghost life matter. Oh, or is it ghost deaths matter?
Phasmophobia, yeah, DJ got it
Well
first.
done, DJ.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Phasmophobia. 16. When it comes to groupings of deities or mythic concepts, what number is common throughout many religions and philosophies? So when it comes to groupings of deities or mythic concepts, which number is common throughout many religions and philosophies? Religions and philosophies. 13, 3, 8, 11. They've already got the answer up there. Yeah, like the Trinity and other stuff. Yeah.
Can you keep going?
Where are you going?
I've got to go to the toilet.
Bloody hell! Bye, Mark.
Bye.
I've got to do bloody everything. Right, so I've got right. Come on, Spanners, earn your keep. Who was first? Because I can't be expected to do everything. It's free. And who was first, Spanners? Ego. No. Was DJ first? DJ was first. Brilliant. DJ was first. Bloody hell. See what I mean? I've got to do bloody everything round here. I could have a right old natter about him now, couldn't I? Could you all have a little go at him about not going to doctors, please? Because he moaned at me for not going to doctors. I'm now in the doctors and I'm on this nonsense. But he's wheezing away like he smokes 20 Woodbines a day. So when he comes back in, it's like a little psyop. If you could all just bloody have a go at him in the chat about going to doctors and pretend I never said nothing. Why not? A little psyop on Mark. Right, where are we now? Number 17. Chemistry evolved from which mystic study? Necromancy, herbology, alchemy, palmistry. Chemistry evolved from which mystic study? Necromancy, herbology, alchemy, palmistry. Right. The answer is alchemy. Who got that right? Is it DJ again? DJ! Spanners, is that right? Is it DJ? Yeah, brilliant. Oh, you're knocking it out of the ballpark here, mate. I hope you realise that you've got to give me your address so I can send you a present if you win. Which is a nice thing. I don't sell it on the internet for thousands of pounds. Oh, here he comes. Right, ready? Get ready with your typing. Sign up, eh? All right, babe? Yeah. Good. DJ's knocking it out of the ballpark.
You got another one, is he?
Oh, he's got another 2 since you've been gone.
Oh, blimey, how are you going fast now?
No, you just took bloody ages about it. Oh. Alchemy was the practice of trying to transform common elements into gold or substances, which would grant immortality. While, as far as we know, no alchemists were successful in that, alchemy may have led to the creation of gunpowder, certain musical instruments, and chemistry itself. Oh, did you hear what Ben's put in there? To you. Read what Ben's written to you.
Go to Big Farm and get those chemicals
yes.
inside you.
Ben's telling you to go to the doctors.
I only went to the bloody toilet. Now. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Right.
18.
Right, you can have that back.
Yeah.
18.
Yeah. We've already got an answer to 18, apparently.
Oh. Well, that was 17.
Right.
Who's that a thing? 17 was alchemy. Oh, yeah, no. Scribble out the 18 then. Yeah. Right. Janet and Margaret Hodgson made headlines in the 70s as the primary targets of which famous haunt? Amityville, the Enfield haunting, the Battersea poltergeist, Geff the talking mongoose. Margaret and Janet Hodgson. Primary targets of what famous haunt? Amityville, the Enfield haunting, the Battersea poltergeist, Geff the talking mongoose.
Good, no cheating, Gary. Right,
Gary cheating?
No, he's not cheating. He don't know the answer, but he's not going to cheat.
Good, well done, Gary.
Right.
That's the kind of It's not cricket.
No, that's not the answer.
It's not cricket. The answer is not cricket. So, who was first with the Enfield haunting?
Yeah, Ben, Enfield poltergeist.
Yeah, Enfield is what we need.
Yeah, Ben's first.
Enfield. Well done, Ben. So a bit of learning. Residents of a home in Enfield claim to have furniture move on its own and to have heard disembodied voices call out to the homeowners. The owner's 2 teenage daughters were said to have been the focal point of the paranormal activity. Upon investigating, the Warrens claimed that there was some form of demonic possession occurring within the children in the home. Their investigation into the case would form the central plot to The Conjuring 2. I've never seen that, but it scared me to bloody death. I don't mind a horror film, but not if it's based on a true story.
We did see, it was quite good, I think it was British TV. Was it ITV?
What?
Did an Enfield, it was like a 2-part film with Timothy Spall in it.
I don't know.
I think of the Enfield. It was good.
Ben on there.
It was good. Yeah, we watched it Halloween a few years ago.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it was good, yeah.
Okay, Ben done that one then. Right, 19. We're nearly there, everybody.
DJ says there's a good song by Megadeth called Country.
Oh, I'm sure you'll know about that.
No, I don't know about that. And Margaret recommends whiskey, lemon juice, and cloves with hot water. Wouldn't be any good for you.
I can't have lemon juice or orange juice. I'm allergic, mind.
Oh.
Sorry.
It's all right, just have the whiskey then.
All right. Thanks, guys. Right, number 19. What was left in Pandora's box after she released misery and evil? I learnt something here.
I don't know. It was in the toilet just now when I went to the loo.
Unbelievable. What was left in Pandora's box after she released misery and evil? Grief, hope, reassurance, confusion.
Just a condom.
Grief, hope, reassurance, confusion. What was left in Pandora's box after she released misery and evil? Right. The answer is a condom. The answer, I learned a thing or two about this, is hope.
Oh, yeah.
Symbolically, the box represents the curiosity and desire for knowledge that can lead to both negative consequences and positive outcomes. The evils inside the box can be seen as the challenges and difficulties of life, while the hope represents the optimism and resilience to overcome those challenges. Like we've got to do this year in the year of the wood dragon. Remember what I said at the beginning? Yeah. It's going to be a challenging year, but the wood dragon, we've got to harness the strength of the dragon and the creativity of the wood, and that means make your own bloody YouTube channel and do this, because it's just getting our voices out there, isn't it? Anyway, who won? Who said hope first?
It was DJ again, but only just beat green tea. But,
well done, everybody.
Yeah.
Was interesting that.
Yeah, Ego Shredder said hope as well. Johnny Fettler says 75p in change. Much the same. That's about all I have to hope for.
Oh.
Yeah. Ego Shredder says think outside the box and stay away from loose women.
Right, number 20.
Right, last one.
In Irish, Icelandic, and Scottish mythologies, Selkies are creatures that are capable of taking what form apart from human? Dolphin, mermaid, seal, salmon. In Irish, Icelandic, and Scottish mythologies, Selkies are creatures that are capable of taking what form apart from human? Dolphin, mermaid, seal, salmon. Goes on a bit, this one. Right. Who said seal first?
So that will be. Hang on.
Mari, isn't it?
It is Mari. I think I was just scrolling up, make sure I hadn't missed one earlier.
I wish it was salmon.
Yeah, Mari got this one.
Brilliant. Here's a bit of learning. The form of a seal, the legend apparently, the form of a seal, full stop, which I didn't put. I've got to do all of this. The legend apparently originated on the Orkney Islands, where Selk or Selkie is the Scots word for seal. Selkies are able to transform to human form by shedding their seal skins and can revert to seal form by putting their Selkie skin back on. Stories concerning Selkies are genuinely romantic tragedies. Sometimes a human will not know that their lover is a Selkie and wakes to find them gone. Other times the human will hide the Selkie skin, thus preventing them from returning to seal form. Ah, I'd marry a seal.
He was a singer.
No, I'd marry an actual seal, Mark. Quite cute. Right. Big reveal.
Right.
We should do third, second, first. Or should we just do first?
Well,
let's just do first.
Well, I can tell you second. It's Mari.
Oh.
Yeah. And a new winner.
Oh.
A new winner this week. DJ.
Woo!
Well done.
I should do that with
Christ.
not with my crackle on my lung.
Yeah.
Well done,
Crackle
DJ.
pop.
Right, so what you've got to do, type my email address in there. You've got to email me. If you want a prize, you've got to email me your address so I can send it to you. But if you don't want to do that, you don't get one. And the prizes are pretty stunning, as most people in the chat will tell you. Not most people. Linda won't tell you. You haven't bloody won one, have you yet, Linda? I'm thinking about doing prizes for the losers for Margaret and Linda. No, I've had a joke with Margaret about this.
Well, I mean, I think there was quite a good variety of answers here. I mean, there's Mari and DJ had the most, but Ben had a few. But then we had Woody had one, Johnny had one, Linda had one. So...
DJ says, "Don't worry about the prize. Do a rollover." Oh my God, what does that mean? That somebody next week gets two prizes?
I don't know, DJ. Because you're a new winner. It's like
he doesn't want to give us his.
Oh, he doesn't want to give his address.
It's quite within his rights, Mark, not to tell us where he fucking lives.
Oh, well, what is that?
Bloody hell! Oh. Okay, who came second then, Mari?
Yeah.
I'll send you some stickers, Mari. All right, DJ. Well done, love. You still won. No, nobody can take that away from you. All right. Should we have a song for him?
All right.
Let's have his favourite song. I'll let Mark dance for DJ as his prize. Bit better than that. Come on, everybody, have a dance. Come on. Mark, stop reading that and do a dance. Put a bit of effort into it. This is for DJ.
All right.
This is his prize. The gift of dancing.
Yeah.
Right, this is where I have a break now. And don't forget, 9 o'clock, go over to Ben's channel and subscribe to Ben as well, for Christ's sake. He's our buddy.
Hanwell TV.
Well, they can just click on him, I think. Anyway, at 9 o'clock, Ben's doing a live stream about Cucker Tarlson and Padamir of Luton. Putin on the Ritz. So I hand it over to Mark now to do some clever talking. But I have a little bit of a break now.
Right.
Oh Christ! You're going to sit on the big boy's chair.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Sit on the big boy's chair.
Yeah. All right.
And I'll sit behind you.
All right. Oh Christ! All right. Well.
Do you want me to help you?
In what way?
I don't know.
No. Yeah, it's fine. Stay there. Just get me a drink. Right. So, starting by talking about black-eyed children, black-eyed kids, as they're often referred to on the internet.
I'll get you a bit more drink.
And
So, I mean, probably most of you would have heard of them and read stuff about them. David Weatherly is probably the best known researcher into them, or he's certainly maybe written the best known book about them anyway. So, you know, just as an overview, as a lot of you will probably be aware, there's this phenomena that if you look at on the Wikipedia, it says it started in the 90s, but Weatherly and others would say that's not true, and it's just that the term black-eyed children or black-eyed kids became popularized in the 90s, and so that's where a lot of people, if they just Google on the internet, that's just, they'll just get stuff from the 90s onwards. But he said he's found cases going back to the 1950s. But as I say, just maybe descriptions of strange children with these jet black, solid black eyes. But obviously, reports in the past wouldn't have referred to them with the same terminology. But so the main the linking thing, if you like, the phenomena, it tends to be these kids tend to be more than one, I think, that either knock on the door of someone's house or sometimes they go up to someone's car, but they seem sort of otherworldly, bit not speaking in, or not speaking normally, just a bit strangely, a bit either just sort of drab clothing, not with any sort of markings on it, and maybe sort of fairly old fashioned. And a crucial thing is often that they're asked to be let in. And so it's a lot of links, seems very similar with the vampire legends, because it seems that they can't go into a place unless they're actually invited in. Just Weatherly, I heard him interviewed, and he said a friend of his, Whitley Strieber, who a lot of you will be aware of, who's also very interested in this phenomenon, said because there's no reports of, I don't think, people inviting these kids in or whatever they are, because there's just this feeling of dread whenever people see them, and it's really, it's a complete twist of how people would expect to feel if they're seeing children, young people that seem to be vulnerable, needing help supposedly, but just this feeling of dread that comes over people. They just want to close the door and get rid of them as quickly as possible. But as Whitley Strieber said, it's unsettling to think that there could be cases where people have let them in, but then we haven't known about it because something nasty ended up happening to the people. So I suppose that's another way of looking at it. Weatherly says some people think that they're harbingers, bringing omens of misfortune, and particularly if some have actually had physically touched the kids, they suffered illness or bad misfortunes afterwards. So there does seem to be some sort of, like, I suppose, a lot of legends of creatures like this. I'm sort of going to go into links with sort of other stories of entities, but the fact that they seem to bring misfortune or bring trouble on people that they're connected with. Weatherly thinks that they're interdimensional. They've always had, maybe sort of ancient interdimensional entities which have never lost the ability to come and go between our reality and theirs. So he also said that there's maybe connections, a lot of people say, with Men in Black. Some people say they could be alien hybrids. Weatherly was saying most people he's tried to contact or has spoken to that have encountered them were traumatized by the experience. And the closer the encounter they have, the more negative the results that seem to be in the people's lives. And it does seem to be this psychological conflict in people's minds, because the natural impulse is to help children who seem like they're distressed. But at the same time, people that have come up against encounter these black-eyed children, they've got they, you know, all these signs of fear, dread, hair on the back of their neck standing up. And to me, it's sort of, when I was doing this study on about the lost children, and it's this idea where you've got a paradox of something that should be the most vulnerable people in society, something that should be a symbol of hope and joy and something for the future, and instead it's about death, decay, loss. To me, the black-eyed children are this sort of embodiment, if you like, of this idea. A lot of these ideas that I was talking about with the lost children a couple of weeks ago. But again, there's this interesting idea or interesting connection with vampire lore as well. So maybe a lot of the vampire legends come from what were the black-eyed children phenomenon, but you know, it was centuries ago, and again, it wasn't. So people in those communities in those times, they would have thought of them as vampires, and now it's black-eyed children. Excuse me, my cough as well. I have a bit of water. But Weatherly was saying it does seem like there's some intelligence there, or some design, if you like, whether it's the entities themselves, or maybe it's some force that are using them and sending them out there to, I don't know, maybe in some sort of predatory sense, try and attack or get something from these people, because they seem to be going. The majority of sightings are around the sort of dusk time, you know, just between day and night. Things are getting darker. Maybe people are a bit tired. They just come home from work, or they're feeling a bit relaxed. And maybe it's at this sort of time when they're a bit vulnerable to different things, and they can be caught by surprise and taken advantage of a bit more. There's also, like a lot of paranormal phenomena, malfunctions where people have said that they've seen black-eyed children. They come to the door, and maybe they've had security cameras on their door, but they've just suddenly malfunctioned at the time when these creatures have appeared. Power cuts mysteriously going out, glitches with missing film, as I say, when there's sort of CCTV. And again, as Ben Cosmic, well, I think probably most of the people in the chat will know, Men in Black, again, it's very similar. People report phenomena where they've appeared and cameras, phones, etc. don't work for the time when they're around. But Weatherly was, again, maybe in a sort of a vampire sense, seeing these as sort of parasitic and how they like to feed on the fear that they generate with people. And he said they just seem to interact long enough to create fear in the people they're encountering, and then they disappear. So perhaps it's just a case of they just want to generate enough fear so they can absorb it, like some sort of energy vampire. So as I say, again, if you look at it on the internet, the convention reports say it's all just a sort of a urban legend. It all on the internet, and it's supposed to have started with this guy Brian Bethel, and he shared a story online about his encounter with black-eyed children, black-eyed kids. He applied this BEK acronym, black-eyed kids, and then according to the story, then people started repeating these stories saying that they'd seen it. So the skeptical mainstream is just that literally it's an urban legend and it's all just stories on the internet. But I thought it was quite interesting, especially as I'm going there in May. Weatherly mentioned a statue which was recently found in Göbekli Tepe, where I'm going, in Turkey. Obviously, ancient site, 10,500 plus years old. And at Göbekli Tepe, the only humanoid statue at the site is being called Earther Man. And it's this, as I say, humanoid statue. And the eyes are made of black obsidian. So not anywhere else, but this humanoid figure has got black eyes, and they've obviously deliberately chosen to use this deep black obsidian to use the eyes just on that statue. So he was saying, could that be a very centuries old at the origins of civilization? Some they're representing some sort of black-eyed entity. Um, but yeah, it seems like somehow these entities are mimicking children, but they're not quite sure how to. So um, obviously this in the sort of modern era, but the kids, they don't have mobile phones with them. They're not wearing headphones. There's no branded clothing, t-shirts with pictures and slogans on it. Um, and some have seen it in more old-fashioned clothing, but often it's jeans and t-shirts, but it's, as I say, it's not branded. It's not how you would expect modern teenagers to look. Um, but yes, I would say that this is very much. It fascinates me as this being a modern version of old legends, and I was because of the similarity, particularly with vampires. I look back for some of the early origins of vampires through history. Many different civilizations have had different versions of what could be or termed like vampires now in terms of blood sucking. But um, it struck me where there was talking about ancient Babylonia, tales of the mythical Lilitu, synonymous with and giving rise to Lilith in Hebrew, and her daughters, the Lilitu from Hebrew demonology. Lilith was considered a demon, was often depicted as subsisting on the blood of babies. So this is grim, I know, but again, it taps into a lot of things that we've talked about, unfortunately, in our fields. The legend of Lilith was originally included in some traditional Jewish texts. According to the medieval folk tradition, she was considered to be Adam's first wife before Eve. In these texts, Lilith left Adam to become the queen of the demons. She actually refused to be Adam's subordinate and thus was banished from Eden by God himself. Now, this struck me as well because apparently, well, I've seen the opening clip of it, but Amazon have just released a new cartoon. I'm not sure if it's a series or a film. I think it's a series, but it's supposedly supposed to be humorous, adult related. But yeah, it's looking at Lucifer as being a good guy, and it starts with talking about Adam being with Lilith to begin with, and she's proud and she doesn't want to be Adam's subordinate, as it says here. So she gets cast out, and then Lucifer, who's been cast out of heaven because he's full of pride, he goes down and falls in love with Lilith, and then they end up um, being hell becomes created. I think Margaret's in the chat. Hello, Margaret. So anyway, it just interested me that there's our friends in Amazon have put out some modern story that's going back to these very earliest Hebrew texts, but also again, these early legends were talking about preying on young babies and mothers at night. And it says, because Hebrew law absolutely forbade the eating of human flesh or the drinking of any type of blood, Lilith's blood drinking was described as exceptionally evil. To ward off attacks from Lilith, parents used to hang amulets around their child's cradle. So this again, early legends around blood sacrifice with children going missing, being abducted in the night, and it being equated to these evil spirits or demons. And there are various other different similar sort of blood sucking child-killing monsters of various different cultures. And this is also there's a lot of the legends as well. A number of these demonic, demon-like vampires. They're child stealing, child killing, but they also have the different body parts of animals. And that sort of thought in our modern conspiratorial world about hybridization of people and animals, these ideas of experiments in underground military bases, and another possible, people think that some people think that these black-eyed kids could be even victims, child victims of such experiments, or some sort of product of these experiments. So again, you've got links between the ancient, and in our area, and if you like, the woo and the conspiratorial. There was also legends as well, again, of sort of succubus type fairies in Ireland and Scotland, and they could have influenced people like Bram Stoker, who obviously ended up writing Dracula, which then fed into all the modern vampire myths, that films and books that have right up to the present day. I was interested because when I was looking at black-eyed children on the internet, and as I say, the main thing about them is this idea of them coming to someone's house or car and asking to be let in. But there's a number of stories that were in the British press, and it got in mainstream press, the more tabloid end of it. I think the Daily Star and the Daily Express. Excuse me. But they're in Staffordshire, in Cannockshire, around sort of Stoke-on-Trent area, which Liz knows well. But there's supposed to be haunted sites around there, and there's been lots of sightings of black-eyed children in these woods around Cannock Chase. People have gone there and feel they've been stalked by a ghost, and there's been sightings of, it says here, since the 1980s. And there's some people that say they've captured images on photographs and videos, and you can see that if you Google it. It's available on the internet. So obviously, like a lot of these things, it's like, are they genuine photos or not? But they're quite striking and spooky. But these are very. There's nothing like the traditional story of the black-eyed kid of going to a house or some car, which is these stories are mainly urban. The ones that I've heard reports of. I mean, it's not just based in America. I mean, Weatherly was saying there are sightings around the world, but these particular ones around this area in Britain were, say, in these wooded areas. But I was struck by a number of there's different theories as to what these black-eyed children, apparitions, entities are that people have seen. And there were a number of people that thought they could be local children killed during a diphtheria outbreak in the 1800s. And they say diphtheria, highly contagious bacterial infection, can cause the eyes to appear sunken and dark. And its other ghastly symptoms include a thick grey-white coating that may cover the back of your throat, nose and tongue, and pus-filled blisters on your legs, feet and hands. I think I probably have an all now. But then another more modern theory, if you like, believes the children could be the victim of a local murderer. Between 1965 and 1967, Raymond Morris killed 3 children in the area. So there's various different theories, but as I say, these were very different sorts of sightings to the phenomena that I heard sort of David Weatherly talking about. But I was struck by this idea that they are either the spirits of children, well, either way, the spirits of children that died, whether it was through disease hundreds of years ago or from a violent child killer in the sort of 20th century. So, because that sort of leads me on to, I don't know, I'm not saying this is what I think black-eyed children are, but sadly there are such frightening numbers of lost children over the centuries and just every year that it seems to me that maybe these black-eyed children are somehow you could, or at least if nothing else, you can use it as a metaphor for all the terrible abuse and loss of children which our society, I'm going to say our society, but we know that there's people behind it that are creating these terrible conditions that are causing this. But just following on from a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about things about child trafficking or people trafficking in general, and there was all these concerning figures. Obviously, it's the ridiculous levels of immigration with people coming over, whether it's to Europe or Britain or also to the United States. And there was figures about over 1,000 child asylum seekers wrongly assessed as adults, 847 age assessments done wrongly last year, resulting in 900 children were misplaced in 2022. So they were in adult accommodation, so they weren't safe. I know a lot of people rightly, the whole immigration thing is a wider subject, and it's like, well, there should be things to stop the ridiculous levels of people coming over, but the point being that these people are being as much victims of it as the people in our country that are being, and the society that's being changed through the immigration. But one product of it is that so many of these young people are coming over unaccompanied, and then they're just getting lost in the system. And as we know, that there's quite often in these sort of cases, there's people in important places that are at least facilitating these sort of losses, and it becomes part of this whole sort of black market, with children going missing and being made slaves, basically. And in a similar sort of thing in America, there's record numbers of migrants, as they call them, but also many children are just being released to sponsors in an average of 28 days, which means they're going to be put with families, but then 85,000 unaccompanied children, one third of children released to sponsors in the United States. I mean, that's just ridiculous. The size of the scale of that number is mind-boggling anyway. But they apparently didn't pick up the phone when they were tried to be contacted. So the government is unable to account for their whereabouts or welfare. So 85,000 children were just put with people in the United States, but now they don't know where they are, or they've lost touch with them. So obviously there's got to be a frightening level of at least opportunity for abuse there. I know this seems like a complete sidetrack from the black-eyed children, but I think it's just the number of children that are made in our world, and it's like, where do they end up? Maybe these black-eyed children are coming back. It's the sort of revenge, perhaps, but also it's maybe the way that our society is perverting and twisting what childhood should be. And this interdimensional idea also makes me interested because, to me, one of the things that's being crushed, as well as people's lives in general, but it's the imagination. And I wrote an article on my Lost Child blog spot, which I haven't written anything on for several years. But it was a bit inspired by the Black Eyed Children, but it was also, there was a report um, about imaginary friends, about how children used to have imaginary friends. I don't know if we had ones ourselves, but a large percentage of us always used to have imaginary friends, and then they did some survey that it went down to about 17%. I mean, again, I don't know, these surveys, they obviously don't interview every single kid, but I can believe that because imagination seems to be stolen away as well.
Well, some people don't think they are imaginary.
Well, that's another thing. Maybe the imaginary children, maybe again maybe they're a way of spirits of children that got lost in past times. Maybe they used to find a way to communicate through the imagination, and that's what the imaginary friend was with children who are open and more receptive, and quite a common theme in ghost stories that, well, either there's spirits of children, but also it's a child in the material world who is because they don't have all the trappings and the, if you like, the matrix to squish that. Who's yawning now at the back there?
Oh,
Yay, bloody hide in there. I can see, I can bloody hear you. But now the imagination is being crushed. You've got the internet, and as I said about the Black Eyed Children, they're supposed to be like teenagers, but they're not. They haven't got phones or any sort of communications or technology with them, and that Western kids now,
Disney captured your imagination.
Disney captures your imagination, and they've been doing that for decades. So, to me, it was a bit of a metaphor as well, because, as I say, the black-eyed kids phenomena. If you read the internet, the mainstream articles on Wikipedia or whatever, they say it's just a phenomena of the internet, of the way that social media and sites like creepypasta, where people spread stories, and then that creates urban legends, and then people want to create their own stories, so they can get a bit of fame and some likes. So that's how it spreads around the internet. And one of the downsides about that technology is it is overtaking. It's taking people's minds, and it's making it think in a different way. But it's crushing a lot of the imagination, the inspiration, and maybe this ability to connect with, whether it's people on the other side or other entities or something like that. But just that idea of intuition, creativity, and spirit. The spirit, just in meaning in terms of a soul and some ability to beat, as Liz was talking about, hope, and to get out of this way that they're trying to crush and blanket everyone. And I think it's quite just shocking. Aside from that, it's been going on for a while in like education here, where arts and humanities have been cut back, and it's all science and technology. But they don't want people to. We know they don't want people to question things, but they also don't want the creativity.
Well, it's the creativity that makes you
that makes you what? Sorry.
question things.
Yeah, exactly.
Creative way.
Mm-hmm. So, so to me, that, I mean, on one aspect, yes, the internet does create these stories, and in that way, it's a modern version of the way that people used to share fairy stories. So things like these online story places like creepypasta, I would say they're a positive thing in many ways, in terms of if it's people writing stories and being imaginative, then that's a good thing. I suppose where it gets, if people are, it's got to the stage, and there's been one or two infamous stories where people say that, there's an interesting other sort of parallel, which David Weatherly was talking about, to the Black Eyed Kids and the Slender Man story, and that 100% was started on this creepypasta online forum, and it was created stories about this. Again, I think it was sort of a horrible monster with these long sort of octopus arms, but again, stealing children away. But then there became a lot of people said they'd actually had sightings, they'd seen this figure of Slender Man. So obviously people will just say, oh, well, they're just making it up because they read the story on the internet, and maybe they want to get some fame, by saying that they've seen it. But then another possibility is it like a tulpa, where because these stories go through the internet, they almost create these monsters, and they come into reality because through the power of the imagination. That's the other side of the imagination, where perhaps the internet can spark it. But
so let's all imagine freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the most important thing. But I sort of ended my talk of several years ago, and it was like the internet, but most specifically things like through the 5G. They want it to invade every house. They want it to be part of the Internet of Things, where we're all, and all of us, Internet of people, everything is all connected up to the internet. But that's going to create a whole race of zombies. So we're all going to be like the Black Eyed Kids. And to me, those Black Eyed Kids that they want to come into your house. That's just like the entities that are controlling us. It's like they want into our house. They want access to us. To me, it just seems maybe they're like some sort of advanced party that they've been sent out to get access to us, to our imaginations. And we've got to fight it. We've got to fight it. Okay, I've run out of steam. Which is probably just as well, so Ben can get off to his live stream and make more sense than me.
You did very well, babe.
Done very well.
Well done, Colin.
Yeah, well, Colin.
That's our favourite Ben quote.
Well
done, Colin.
Well done, Colin.
Well done, Colin. That was really good, babe. So,
yeah, I'm bloody knackered now.
He's knackering doing this.
He's knackered doing this.
Bloody, yeah. At our age.
I don't normally talk for this
My
long in one go. I don't. There's lots been
I
going
don't
on.
let him. I don't give him a chance.
There's lots been going on in chat. I haven't had a chance to look at any of it because I've been looking at me writing.
Let's just have a little quick look.
No, it's that one.
Oh, I don't bloody know.
It's that one.
Right, let's scroll up and we'll have a look.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for listening, people.
We're not very good at this bit, are we?
maybe we'll have to catch up with it. It's good that you've been talking anyway in the chat, because that's also part of it as well.
It's part of it.
Of course, it's a community, and it's really lovely that people
why
tune
we
in.
set this up, because my original idea for this was all the lonely people, where do we all come from? So I've like at work, like set up things where people meet, and I was like, why don't we just all meet in a chat box? It's a nice thing to do. I'm not saying you're all lonely, sad people, but maybe I am. So I set this up primarily for me not to be as lonely, I think. But this is where the magic happens, in the chat box. So thank you. I don't understand it. So thank you so much for having a little and making friends in the chat box as well. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and now you can go over to Ben's and keep chatting.
And make more friends.
You can keep chatting.
So we love you all very, very much. And thank you so much for spending your Saturday evening with us. Oh, thanks, Mari. We love you loads, and stops us being as lonely and as sad. And hopefully it helps you guys as well. So we're going to go to Ben's channel in 10 minutes. So we'll see you over in Ben's channel, hopefully, where he's talking about Cucker Tarlson and
Putin on the Ritz.
Yeah. Happy Wood Dragon. Happy Chinese New Year, Wood Dragon. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
No, don't forget, it turns off about 2 minutes after we press turn off. So we got to go like this. Ready? Bye. Hold on. I don't think it's done it yet. Stay there.